What, Pika? Of course I'll sing to you. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. It is time, once again, for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this well-loved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since, providing me with a constant source of comic book shop-style conversations, the kind I intend to recreate today, right here, right now, with you. You! Pull up a chair to the coffee table as we read from this coffee table book. Bring a cup of your favorite whatever. I've got some Guatemalan hueve tanago, a medium roast bean. It thrills me and it fills me. I love this stuff. Sláinte, cheers, skål, l'chaim, namaste. Salud, paz y amor, y dinero. Indeed, we are using this... We're using this 365 Days book for its intended purpose. We're opening up to today's date, which is October the 21st. We're going to look at some comic book art from an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We've been doing so all year long, and we're going to finish this year strong. Thank you for coming aboard. Literally, you are the most important ingredient in the recipe of our show. This conversation that we're having, keep leaving those comments. I love seeing you in the live chat as well. If I'm lucky enough to catch the premiere of the show, I'm talking to you guys here and there, and that's really cool. To be part of your own live chat and your own show. I mean, God bless you. Thank you so very much. The Golden Age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, runs between 1970 and 1985 or so. And the Copper Age runs from like 1984-85 until 1993. And then we've been in some kind of nebulous catch-all modern age ever since for the past 30 years? Well, I get these standards and definitions of the ages from the glossary of the most current edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. This is a great place to have standards from. And the standards of the ages varies from like shop to shop or source to source. It really does. So I've cobbled together my own list and that I share often, usually on what I call slow news days. Today and every day I am suggesting these 2 books as well. Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art by Scott Mcleod, and How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. These are excellent books. Always, we are the outsider looking in of any publication, of any book. And this is the insider's view looking out through the panels, the sequential art, the crash course in art history, the terminologies, just the conventions of the genre itself, of the page, of formatting, and of function, of form, of perspective, and of character dynamics, and just it's what a great ride. I love comic books, and I'm glad that you are here with us tonight. Indeed. We're going to open up to today's date, and let's get to it. I hope that you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Over and out. Today is October the 21st. It's art by Jack Burnley for Adventure Comics. Oh, it says for Adventure Comics. Maybe that's a misprint. It happens sometimes, you know. It happens. From Adventure Comics, number 74, May of 1942. It is... You guessed it from the hint at the beginning of the show. It's Starman by Jack Burnley. On a dark and eerie night, a watchman sees a man with a panther's head. Is the world overrun by animals with human brains? Only the mighty Starman can combat these creatures of nightmare in the case of the monstrous Animal Men. Dun, dun, dun. Cosmic level superhero jungle threats. Indeed. Yeah, we've covered Starman a few times. I'd like to actually bring up Starman's legacy. Starman has a robust legacy at DC Comics. The name has been used over and over again for different characters. This is Ted Knight, the original Starman of Opal City, with his gravity rod, which eventually becomes lengthened and greater into the gravity staff. It's the same, and it was also reinvented as the cosmic rod as well. Yet, so there was the Starman of Ted Knight. Then came, there was a Starman of 1951 who was, I think it was he was a Batman bad guy, and, and it was actually Batman himself who briefly took up that mantle in Detective Comics 247, using variants of his usual equipment, but with a star motif instead of a bat, due to him having been hypnotized to be given a fear of bats in the belief that this would render him incapable of being a hero. Awesome. This is silver. This is actually late Golden Age. Yeah, Golden Age ends in 1954 and 1955, literally at the Comic Code Authority seal of approval, the self-regulating comic book industry. Yes. And then there's also, then there's a villainous Starman appears to menace Batman and Robin in Detective Comics 286. Let's see, here comes some of the Starmen that I'm aware of through the Bronze Age. There's Mcleod Thomas, who was an alien who traveled to Earth to help conquer it, but instead turned against his warlike people in defense of the human race. He first appeared in first issue special number 12, March of 1976, and is notable as DC Comics' earliest openly gay superhero, as one of DC Comics' earliest openly gay superheroes. This is true. He came out of the closet in 1998 in James Robinson's Starman. I'm pretty sure that's the was that it? Yeah, it was in James Robinson. Yeah, and it was an excellent series. There was Prince Gavin, and Prince Gavin appeared in Adventure Comics 467, January of 1980. He's a spoiled, blonde playboy prince of an alien empire who discovered he was a mutant who can survive unaided in space. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, indeed. There's Will Payton. He gained his powers of flight, super strength, and a mild amount of shape-shifting, and the ability to alter his appearance and fire a bolt of energies from his hands after being struck by a bolt of energy from a satellite in space. He was in his early 20s and worked as a magazine copy editor. Self-inserts. He first appeared in Starman Volume 1, number 1 of October of 1988. And, so then there is Starman Volume 2, written by James Robinson, which is really awesome. It's from the mid-1990s. It's spun out of the Zero Crisis, the 0 Hour Crisis in Time event, and where everything got an issue number 0. Issue number 0 is I love issues number 0. It's just a publishing gimmick. What's an issue number 0? We've kind of talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. What's an issue number 0? How do I file that in my comic book collection properly? You would do it by the indicia and by its publication date. So if issue number 0 needs to go between issues 17 and 18, that's how it gets filed, and that, in my humble opinion, if you have a different method, let me know. But Starman Volume number 1, issue number 26, we have David Knight, the appearance of David Knight. David and Jack Knight are the sons of Golden Age Starman Ted Knight. What happens to David Knight as he gets killed, like his first night out, using his dad's costume and gravity rod? He does. and his little brother Jack has the same attempt on his life and defends himself using his dad's technology as well. And it's great because Jack is the reluctant hero. Maybe it's like he did not want to be a superhero. He had every objection to his brother doing it and every objection to taking up his dad's mantle. But for a while in DC Comics, there was a really awesome Starman comic book written by James Robinson, starring Jack Knight, and he had these anti-flash tank glasses to protect his eyes from from wind, because he could fly now. But the gravity rod had so much created so much light and sparks, I guess. It was a really cool effect. He wore civilian clothes. He had a leather jacket, very 90s, the leather jacket of the 90s. It was everywhere. Gambit, Rogue, over at the X-Men had it. Just look over at DC, a bunch of other characters did it as well. Like Superboy, it comes to mind, first. And that Jack Knight, the Starman, he got a Cracker Jack prize of a sheriff's star, and so that's a sense of humor. He was just like a offbeat kind of kind of like me, a black sheep in a way, and a real maverick. But he did the right thing because he was a good person. He just is who he is. So he's got a star on the back of the leather jacket. He's got this little sheriff's star toy, and that's what makes him Starman. Ultimately, and there's also one of my favorites because it's the Legion of Superheroes. In the 31st century, we have Tom Caller. He is Starboy, and he has the power of gravity manipulation. And he's a very tragic hero to me, too, because he suffers from mental illness. And he needs help. He needs therapy. He needs pills. And a lot of us do. But eventually Starboy grows up to be Starman. And he ends up in the past. And he ends up being the Starman of the Justice Society of America for a while. It's a really awesome. I love Tom Caller. He's a really great character. There's actually a great Bruce Timm inspired Justice League cartoon movie, Justice League versus the Fatal Five, and he's a big part of it, and they keep him very authentic to his character, and he's a tragic character with problems, and he finds resilience to overcome his problems, and then he also has his bad moments as well, whereas where the day gangs up on him and clobbers him. And I have big heart for Tom Caller / Danny Blaine. That was his 21st century alias, and and then eventually Jack gave the cosmic rod to a young girl named Courtney Whitmore. She becomes Star Girl, and she is who on the HBO TV show. And she's blonde, teenager, and perky, ebullient, positive, and she's a great character. And she is the possessor of the gravity rod and the hero, currently in this legacy. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Isn't it great? These characters have been going on for 80 years. They're dependable in our imaginations, and it's a great place to go to get the kind of stories for escapism, really, and to overcome things and to overcome problems. Everything doesn't have to be so on the nose. In my humble opinion, the proof of the pudding is on the plate. That means it's all in the crafting of this, and how you fabricate and how you deliver the story. You can put anything in it you want, but if it's too on the nose, then it becomes less than escapism. In my humble opinion, you can check out the escapism caveat anytime you want. It's got its own video. We've been talking about comic books. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So please like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. I would love to be part of your YouTube day. We make daily content. We talk about comic books every day. We're talking about a horror movie every day during the month of October for the 31 days of Halloween. If you're a movie fan, love horror movies, come aboard. We got plenty of room for everyone. Thank you so much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Bye-bye.